Good afternoon. We're here today with KOKANE, the most featured artist in entertainment. We're at the Green Color Media Center, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the accomplishment. Congratulations. And then we're going to talk about how that got to be, and the environment that influenced you to be the most featured artist in the game.
Right.
So go ahead and tell us a little bit of how that came to be.
Well, my name is Jerry B. Long Jr. I'm the son of Motown composer and writer Jerry B. Long Sr., whose works include Just My Imagination, Papa Was a Rolling Stone, Smiling Faces by Undisputed Truth, and a slew of hits over there at Motown. So you can kind of say music has always been in my household, embedded into my 23 chromosome. I remember going around my dad's sessions when I was 5 years old. He'd be in a session with OJ's or the next group, and it always had an influence. And we were blessed enough to be raised in Pomona, California, and you know, like any other suppressed environment we live in, there was your hardships, good times and bad times, but we always had music. And growing up in the 70s, it was an explosion with hip-hop and funk music. So you kind of say it was like the best of both worlds. And that very much had an impact and influence on me. And later through the years, 80s, you know, when I took it real serious, I started to do a bunch of talent shows. I mean, I did so many talent shows following behind my cousin, Colt 187 from the group Above the Law. And back when Above the Law, like in 89, the beginning of 89 was first getting put on Ruthless Records. Rest in peace, Eazy-E. You know, I was the next one following behind Above the Law. And it's a funny story because back then my name was Jay Gold because they used to make fun of my eyes, you know what I'm saying, being green. So they called me Jay Gold. And my cousin said, before you come on this Ruthless list, you gotta change your name. And I said, well, I don't like that. I don't want to change my name because my grandmother, you know, they had some sentimental value, and she called me Jay Gold. But he said, I got a name for you, and this is Colt 187 talking to me at 1289 Wall Street in Pomona. Remember like it's yesterday. He said, man, you should call yourself KOKANE. I sat back for a minute, and I said, that's dope. That's the dopest name in the game. He said, that's the idea, because the funk that you do, excuse me, the funk that you do, and cross between the rapping, man, it's brand new. So we did a 3-song demo in 89. And Easy heard my demo through a contributing member of NWA, which is a cat by the name of Laylaw. And he heard my stuff, and he said, man, let's sign KOKANE. So back when 1990 was coming through, after the end of 89, I got signed to Ruthless Records. But then I had to wait to put out my record because Above the Law was coming out with their album on Ruthless Records called Living Like Hustlers. Now this was an important record because words like ballin', chronic, G-Funk came from the Above the Law KOKANE camp. So in 91, that was my first record on Ruthless Records. It was a cut by the name called Nickel Slick Nigga. And that Nickel Slick Nigga single was produced by Colt 187, and the remix was produced by Dr. Dre. But also in 91, it was good because my first platinum record, which was amazing to me, I was a young Coca, was guest appearing on the Niggas for Life album. I introduced a character called Sweet Talk. Well, all right, y'all across the USC, Compton Watts. They though we known to walk through the shadow of real niggas. It was kind of like a spinoff on George Clinton's Sir Knows, but I didn't use a voice modulator. I used my voice. And that's one thing that called Eazy-E is that I sounded like Rick James, I sounded like George Clinton, I sounded like Curtis Mayfield, and I'm a MC. So Eazy was like, KOKANE is every bit of him being dope. And that started really the features, because wasn't nobody really doing features. You gotta think about it. When you had those groups in 1940 and different other things, they were self-contained. It really wasn't about doing 1,000 songs with this person. Like Led Zeppelin did 1,000 song features with Ozzy Osbourne, or Michael Jackson did 1,000 song features with Prince. This is something when was new. 1990 ushered in gangster rap. I'm a contributing part of that gangster rap movement and G-Funk movement. And when Eazy-E let me get on certain songs above the law, it started a chain reaction. Now this was before my brother, beloved brother, R.I.P. Nate Dogg, because there was only two cats in the game that people came to the most was Nate Dogg and the legendary KOKANE, who happened to be there before Nate Dogg. So that was like the starting point, and I didn't never anticipate being the most featured artist, nothing. I was just excited about being on all these records, blah, 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 blah. So when Eazy-E died of complications of AIDS, it really hit home and hit hard, because that was our lifeline to doing more features and doing more work and getting paid. You know, Ruthless, the assets had froze, a lot of people's fighting. So it put me in a kind of like a dark place, but pressure makes a diamond. So 9 times out of 10, I used to just go to studios, find out where E40 or some of my Chicano rappers or whatever it is, and I would take crumbs. But the whole objective is to go ahead and feed my family, because I had a few kids by my wife, who I'm still with. We have 8 children, yes, by the same woman who I've been with for over 33 years. And when Eazy died, nobody didn't want to help. I couldn't come to Ruthless Records, so I was hungry. And 9 times out of 10, like I said, when I mess with an E40 or mess with a Too Short or whoever, they like my style so much that they would say, put it on me. And what happened, it kept going, it kept going. Like, for the last 28 years, I've been one of the hardest working persons in the business that has so much mystery and mystique, because a lot of people know the face as opposed, a lot of people know the voice as opposed to the face. So, moving through the 90s, we were able to, you know, as an artist, I was able to work. So many records. And then 1999, I had a fresh breath of air in my second win by hooking up with Doghouse, Snoop Dogg. Now, when I went over there, I literally did over 200 songs at Doghouse. And you remember songs like, albums like The Last Meal, The East Siders, Doggy's All Stars, Doggy's Angels, some incredible records that we put out, some of the most memorable classics that you ever want to hear was blessed by the legendary KOKANE. And 2005 hit, what goes up must come down. So I was at that dark place again, you know what I mean? And I just kept going. Something about the passion of music that was already embedded in me that did not allow me to say no, or did not allow me to just give in and just give up. I kept going, because first of all, my first important thing is my family. And it created a safe haven, and all over the world, from Puffy to Busta Rhymes to independent artists worldwide, it just kept going. And I kept, sometimes it was good money, sometimes it was crumbs, but I still kept going. And in 2008 and 2009, when I moved up here, actually I moved up here in Northwest, big ups to the Northwest, I love y'all out there. It was a new start for me. It was a chance for me and my wife to start our record label, learning and soaking up the game from one of the biggest independent cats in the game, and that was Eazy-E. I thought it was time, because we had our own autonomy, and I went through certain revelations through Ruthless and Death Row, through all those type of periods as being a witness and a participant. But it was time to start my own label, so using my middle name, that's my name, Buddy, my middle name. We used Jerry Buddy Long, so we took the Buddy and used Buddy Boy Entertainment. And when we started our record label 10 years ago, it was rough the first time, but all the while, I kept doing hooks and I kept doing features, because it created a safe haven for me, and people from all over the world had to get a feature from the legendary KOKANE signature sound. And here we are 17 years later, the most featured artist out of collabs, out of any genres of music. We actually put out something to the whole public by doing a 2 year research, wanted to be correct, and it's sealed in the scroll that the legendary KOKANE is the most featured artist in recording history. And that started, you know, by me not even thinking about it. I just was passionate about music. I had to feed my family, and it was a dark place when Eazy-E died and when Tupac died. You know what I mean? But what don't kill you make you strong. And the purpose of this most featured artist in the world is certainly not to discredit any other artists that worked their buns off and that did some amazing accomplishments. It's simply to educate the world on the body of work, also leave a legacy for my children because they're the third generation, and also inspire young artists in the world that when they look at KOKANE, all the trials and tribulations, it is a walking testimony. So it's about inspiration for elevation. This is why we do the most featured artists in the world. The research is out there, and we still going strong all over the world, still in 2017. It is a blessing, and I choose my words carefully, a blessing to still be accepted, coming way back from that era 28 years ago. So you're never too old to be good, because ain't no substitution for good and greatness. If you strive for greatness, the more you go up, keep it humble. And that's my story right there for the most featured artist.
It's KOKANE. It's KOKANE. Well, all right. You a cold one for this one, chill.